Halo Wars 2 is a real-time strategy game set in the Halo universe and was released in February of 2017, introducing us to the Banished. Quickly, the legend of Atriox had my attention. After Halo 4 and 5 seemingly forgot that the brutes existed, this game brought them back bigger and better than ever. Throughout 12 campaign missions, the game teaches you all the basics you'll need to try and dominate the competitive RTS PvP and master the new Blitz mode. It was a solid package, one that is now available on Game Pass, and was made even better with the expansion Awakening the Nightmare. Let's go through what makes this game tick, and why Halo fans are so excited to see the Banished become the main antagonists of the upcoming Halo Infinite. Halo Wars 2 takes place 30 years after the first game. Captain Cutter and his crew have been in cryosleep for 30 years, and something pulls them to the Ark from Halo 3, where they soon find that all the UNSC research personnel stationed there have been massacred by this group calling themselves the Banished. Featuring jaw-droppingly beautiful pre-rendered cutscenes, the story starts strong and never slows down. This is a similar game to Halo Wars 1, but with a bit more complexity in the grand scheme of what you can do. It's still a beginner's level game for fans of the genre, but once again, Halo transitions well to the over-the-top view with tight controls and a clear visual style. The game looks good, and units are easy enough to see in the chaos of battle, so that you can attempt to take advantage of the rock-paper-scissors setup to how things are balanced. To get back to that story though, after a powerful opening cutscene introducing us to Atriox and his Banished, the game ends up using a mix of pre-rendered in-game graphic cutscenes and the glorious Blur Studios ones to keep the story going. The pre-rendered game-style graphics look a bit rough as they are running at a noticeably lower resolution, but the Blur Studio ones look fantastic even 4 years later. This is a great introduction to the Banished, and things only get better when you go through what I would consider a mandatory before Halo Infinite expansion, Awakening the Nightmare. For this part, you get to play as the Banished themselves, fighting against a few familiar enemies to fans of the series. The expansion retails for $20 US and has gone on sale before, which is when I bought it. Both the base and expansion campaigns are available in co-op play, and it makes a good time that much better. There are also items known as Phoenix Logs in the game that give more backstory to Atriox and the Banished. They are well written and tell an intriguing story that contradicts the terrifying tale that the AI Isabel tells you when you rescue her from the surface of the Ark. Add into this a comic series called The Rise of Atriox, and there is quite a bit of lore built up for this new crew. I remember hoping at the time of release that they would be a part of the next Halo FPS, and I was thrilled when we found out that they weren't just a part, but the main antagonists. The campaign is a good story, but its main job ends up being a tutorial on how the game works for those interested in the other modes on offer. First up is the classic PvP, which I'm terrible at and barely touched as a consequence. I've heard great things about it though while talking with fans of the series. Next up is the Blitz mode, which was their long-term microtransaction-fueled moneymaker. This is a solo or cooperative firefight mode that uses a card-based system similar to the rec packs of Halo 5 Guardians. I played the heck out of this one back at launch and greatly enjoyed my time with it. They have been decently generous over the years, handing out free packs. These contain cards tied to units you will play during the fight. These cards themselves are tied to various leaders, whom you get available by default if you purchase the gold edition of the game. It's an enjoyable mode, especially if you have a friend to play with, as it can get quite rough. Controls with both mouse and keyboard and controller feel tight and responsive. Lacking the precision of a mouse, you will fall back on moving all or local units quite often with the controller, but the game is forgiving enough where that is okay. Everything works on three principles: a unit cost cap, energy, and resources. You set up a base to mine resources, produce energy, and find them on the map, as well as large blue and yellow piles you can pick up. There is a great variety to the vehicle and squad types here as well for both the Banished and the UNSC, and it is one of my main hopes for Halo Infinite that at least some of them make it to the mainline series. The levels can last a while as you're learning how things work, and the game is quite forgiving on this. It can be difficult to lose on easy and even normal, though on heroic and legendary, it gets legitimately tough. Graphically, the game is quite nice looking. Units and geometry are well detailed and easy to distinguish, even when tons of particle effects caused by your leader powers are raining hell down all over the place. The Xbox version runs at a base 30 frames per second, though FPS boost can now bump that up to 60 if you have a series console. The vehicles are standout here, as I really loved the Banished's take on repurposed Covenant technology. The soundtrack is excellent, with one of my favorite main themes of all time. Overall, it has its own style and doesn't pull in any of the mainline Halo games' auditory signatures. It is a quite bombastic orchestral style that fits the game's themes well. Sound effects and enemy voice work is classic Halo, and the banter before and during missions is excellent. Captain Cutter has a distinct voice, and Spartan Jerome is a legit badass in his actions and demeanor. To wrap things up, I have to say I really love Halo Wars 2. I know it's not the deepest RTS game, and it really is best for fans of the Halo universe, but as it is available for Game Pass, there is no harm in trying things solo, or even better, with a friend in co-op. Add in the excellent expansion Awakening the Nightmare, and you have yourself a genuinely awesome game. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And if you do subscribe, please tick that little bell so you know whenever we post. And we'll see you here next time on Xbox Era.